Hello students, in this video session let us understand some concepts regarding a system. I have already defined what is the meaning of system, but let us again refresh the concepts and many properties or characteristic of a system we will study in this video session. First, what exactly is a system? You know that system may be viewed as interconnection of operations which will transform input signal into output signal. Let us consider this is a system. What this system does, it will receive inputs, say x of t, this is input, and it will transform this input into output y of t. It receives input, operates on that and transform it into output, isn't it? What exactly the system does, it operates on input. We can view system as interconnection of operation. System means what? Operates on input and produces output, that's all. But generally what happens is, here the system is considered as interconnection of operations. Not only one operation it does, many operation it does. Interconnection of operation. Hence we generally regard this system as H, a transformation H. Transformation H means, you see, system means nothing but a transformation H which operates on input so as to produce output. In simple terms, I can say that y of t is equal to transformation H on x of t. H on x of t. This is what is the basic understanding of system. Please try to understand that system means the one which operates on input and produces the new signal, new output signal. Okay. And another concept is system means interconnection of operations, of many operations, and system means it is a transformation H. All these are true about a system. Now if you are considering the same concepts to our discrete signal, then the equation becomes simply y of n is equal to transformation H x of n, that's all. Input becomes x of n, output becomes y of n, that is the only change. Generally we will, as I told you, system may be considered as interconnection of operations, isn't it? System may be considered as interconnection of operations. How it is? See, we can have a cascaded system. How is the cascaded system? Cascaded system means two operations come in series, that's all. Operation H1 in series with operation H2, so that the output y of t is obtained. You are giving input x of t, you are having two operations coming in series, that's all. This is cascaded system. Similarly, we are having a parallel system. Parallel system. Parallel system means you are having input like this and two operations H1 and H2 come in parallel with. This can be a summing amplifier or summer. This is the output y of t. This is the input x of t. This is parallel system. There can be feedback system. Feedback system. You know, in control system there will be feedback system where you are having system H, and then the output y of t is fed back and the feedback is taken as G, isn't it? And there will be one summing amplifier here, or summing. Here it can be plus or minus anything, but this is taken as input or reference x of t. This can be feedback system. Hence, system can be something it can be a cascaded system, parallel system, feedback system, or sometimes it can be interconnection of different operations. It doesn't matter, but try to understand that system means operations or an operator H, an operator H. For example, what is the operator H here? Operator H is H1 into H2. What about the operator H here? The overall operator H is equal to H1 plus H2. Like this, in the feedback system, you know the equation is 1 divided by 1 plus GH, isn't it? Like that, the operation, the function which explains the system can be different. It depends upon what type of input-output relationship is there. Okay, I hope you understood what exactly is a system means and how a system is viewed as interconnection of different operations. Next is properties of systems. Properties of systems. See, properties of systems, whatever is there, no? There are different properties. I just point out those things. They are very important. The first is stability. The next, whatever property we are discussing is memory system. The third property, whatever I'm just talking, will be regarding invertibility or causality. The fourth property is invertibility. Fifth is linearity. Sixth is time invariance or time invariant property. Okay, these are different properties of a system. I told you, I just recap what you mean by system. System is an entity which operates on input and produces the output y of t. That's all. And you can think system as interconnection of operations. You can think it as a interconnection of operations. And we are having an operator called as H, which describes the operation. That's all. Properties of system, there are mainly 6 properties. Important are actually stability, memory, causality, linearity, and time invariant. These 5 properties are very important, whereas invertibility is one of the property where we generally discuss less. In the next coming slide, we shall elaborate on all these 6 properties and some numerical examples we will take up. Okay, let us move to the next slide. Okay, continuing from our previous discussion where we had started the concept of system. In this slide, we will understand about the properties of system. Properties of system. The first is about stability. First property is about stability. See, there is one concept here that is called as bounded input, bounded output stability. Let us understand what is the meaning of bounded input, bounded output stability. Okay. Let us consider a system. Let us consider a system. Let us consider a system. This is system, and to this system I am giving an input x of t. I am giving an input x of t which is bounded. Bounded means something which is present within a limit. That's all. And I am obtaining an output y of t, which is also bounded, which is also present within the limit. Then we shall say that the given system is a stable system. What is the meaning? I am giving bounded input, and I am obtaining bounded output. Hence this stability concept, whatever I am talking, is BIBO stability. Bounded input, bounded output stability. And in terms of mathematical meaning, what I am doing here is x of t, whatever I am providing, its magnitude plus or minus will be within the limits mx, which is much smaller than infinity, which is much smaller than infinity, and I am obtaining output with magnitude which is say my, which is my, which is much smaller than infinity, then I can say that the system is Bibo stable. Okay, very simply I can explain that. Try to understand that there is a amplifier. Okay, there is an amplifier. You are providing 10 volt input. And you are obtaining 100 volt output. See, 10 volt is a bound input. What is 100 volt? 100 volt is also a bound output. Hence, this operational amplifier, whatever is there, no, that is a bounded input, bounded output, stable. Suppose you are providing 10 volt and you are getting a very large output which you cannot measure. Then what happens? The system, you can say that not stable, not Bibo stable. In this way, you can understand that whether the system is Bibo stable or not. The next concept is about memory. Second concept is about memory. You see, a system is said to be memory system if its output depends upon past and future values of the input. Why we call this as a memory system? So as to store the past and future values of the input, you need memory. Hence, such systems are called as memory systems. That's all. What is the meaning of memory system? Output y of t depends upon past and future values of input. Now let us consider a simple equation. I will be considering discrete signal. Y of n, output y of n is equal to 1 by 3 x of n plus x of n minus 1 plus x of n plus 1. Okay. Now, whatever x of n minus 1 is there, no, it is a past value and this is a future value and this is a present value. If you can see, the output depends upon the both past and future values, isn't it? Past and future values. Hence, this is not, no, this is a memory system. Memory system. Why it is a memory system? It depends upon the past and future values, isn't it? Hence it's a memory system. Let us consider another example. Y of t is equal to 3 times x square t. Whether this is a memory system or not, it is memory-less system or not memory system. Why not memory system? Because output only depends on the present input, not on the future or past values. Output y depends only on x, not on any other integral or differential, isn't it? Hence this is not memory system. This system doesn't require memory. This system needs memory. Why? Because output depends upon the past and future values. That's how you can find out whether the system is memory system or not. The next concept, whatever is there, that we will be discussing about causality. The third property is about causality. See, the system is said to be causal. If its output depends upon the present value and the past value. The meaning here is output depends upon the present value and past value, not on the future value. Generally, we call that the causal systems are right-sided signals, or right-sided system. Why it is so, I will explain you, but let us understand this concept first. Output depends upon the present and past values. How it is? For example, y of n, output y of n is equal to x of n plus 1 by 3 x of n minus 1. Whether this is causal or not, I have to determine. See, the output y of n depends upon the present value x of n and past values x of n minus 1, 1 by 3 x of n minus 1. What is this? Past values, not on the future values, not on the future values. Hence it is a causal system. This is a causal system, isn't it? Another example I will explain you. Y of n is equal to x of n plus same above 1 by 3 x of n plus 1. What about this? What about this? This is left sided, isn't it? X of n plus 1 is present. This is not a causal. Not a causal. Not a causal system. Why? Because it depends upon the future values of the input. X of n plus 1 is there, or left sided signal is there. Hence this is not a causal system. How you can identify whether causal or not? Simply see whether it is right shifted or not. If it is right sided signal, then it is a causal signal or causal system. If it is having, equation is having left sided signals like x of n plus 1, it is a non-causal or anti-causal. We call it as anti-causal also. This is how you can determine whether the system is causal or not. The next concept, whatever I am talking, is about invertibility. The fourth property is invertibility. Invertibility. See, invertibility means a system where if you are giving an input x of t and obtaining output y of t, and an invertible system is one where you are providing output y of t and obtaining the input x of t. That's all. Very simple. See, you are having a system H where you are providing input x of t, obtaining the output y of t. Okay. And what about invertible system? Very simple. You are providing this output y of t and you are obtaining the input x of t. If such a possibility is there, no, then this system H is called as invertible system. That's all. Invertible system. Generally, H multiplied by H inverse is an identity vector. Anyway, try to understand that a invertible system is one which can take output as input and give input as output. That's all. Very simple. Y of t becomes input and x of t becomes output. Such a possibility is there, means the system is said to be invertible system. Next slide I shall elaborate on two very important properties. The one is time invariant or linearity. These two properties I shall elaborate. Okay, let us see the next property, that is property of linearity. A system is said to be linear if it follows two important property. The first property is superposition. First property is superposition property. What exactly is superposition property? Suppose you are having a system here, let us consider it as H, okay, and output, suppose you are having x of t as input, output is y of t. Let us consider that I will provide an input x1 of t and produces the output y1 of t. And I am giving an input x2 of t and produces the output y2 of t. And I am giving third input x3 of t, which is x1t plus x2t, and produces output which is y1t plus y2t. Then we shall say that the system follows the superposition property or superposition theorem. It follows x1 I am giving, y1 I am obtaining, x2 I am giving, y2 I am obtaining. Suppose I am giving x1 plus x2, it should be summation of these two outputs. Then it is superposition. The second property which a system should follow is homogeneity. Property. What is the meaning of homogeneity property? Suppose you are having a system which produces output y of t for given input x of t. I amplify the input a x of t and output becomes a y of t. Then I shall say that the system is following the homogeneity property. So as to call a system as linear system, it should follow both superposition as well as homogeneity. It should follow both superposition and homogeneity. That means you are having say ax1t plus bx2t. If you are giving as an input, you should obtain a y1t plus b y2t as output. Then I shall say that the system is a linear system. System is a linear system. Okay, this is the property of linearity. Let us find out the last property, that is time invariant property. See, these properties will be very clear when I take some numerical examples. Let us wait for numerical example. I am just just giving you the theoretical background of all this. The sixth property is time invariant. Time invariant property. Time invariant property. See, the time invariant property means suppose there is a system which produces an output y of t with an input x of t. What I do here is I will make a time advance or time delay in the input signal, shifts the output signal with the same factor. What I am doing is I am delaying or I am just advancing the input signal. Then the same advancement or delay will lead time shift or delay in the output signal also. Then that is called as such system is called as a time invariant system. Time invariant system. What I am doing here is, suppose you are having input x of t producing the output y of t. Producing the output y of t. I am just delaying the input x of t minus t naught. It should also produce the same delay in the output y of t minus t naught should result. Then I shall say that it is a time invariant system. Time invariant system. For example, I shall elaborate this with one numerical example which deals with all these mainly 5 characteristics. Okay, let us wait for this. But the definition of time invariance is, a system is said to be time invariant if a time delay or time advance in time delay or time advance x of t plus t naught means y t plus t naught. Time delay or time advance in the input leads to the similar time delay and time advance in the output, then that system is said to be time invariant system. Okay, generally what happens is, time invariant system characteristic doesn't change with respect to time. What is the meaning of this? Suppose you are operating a system at morning 9 o'clock and you are getting some output, okay, and afternoon you are coming and giving the same input and obtaining the same output, then that system is said to be time invariant system. This is another way of understanding the characteristic of time invariant system. Meaning is, with the delay in time, the output characteristic doesn't change for the system. Okay, let us see with the numerical example these many properties what I have discussed. Okay, thank you. Let us wait for a numerical example which I will be dealing with.